see, oh, do they play responsive doubles, and how high do they play them? Any questions on that? Clear as mud, all right. Well, with that gadget mastered, let's spend the last 15 minutes or so talking about the maximum double, which Joanne claims to have used recently. But I was not there.
Casual game.
You know what they say these days in this social media area? Pics or it didn't happen.
I believe.
Thank you.
All right. Here is the dilemma. This is opener's hand, and you are going to open a spade, of course. Pretty nice 16 count, right? So you open a spade. And we get a 2-heart overcall on your left. Partner gives you a raise to 2 spades. And now the advancer bids 3 hearts. Is it possible that we have a game?
Yes.
I mean, we wouldn't need a whole lot from partner, right? I mean, if partner had the perfect 8 points, which could certainly be in there for a 2-spade raise, partner might have the queen of spades and the ace queen of diamonds. That would be the absolute perfect 8 points, right? And we say, how about that? We lose a heart and 2 clubs. 4 spades, throw it against the wall. 10 tricks, just like that. But partner doesn't even need the perfect hand for 4 spades to have in play, right? Partner had the queen of diamonds, but not the ace. Yeah, maybe they have another card somewhere that's useful. Ace of clubs. King of clubs with the ace on side with the overcaller. I mean, we can construct all sorts of 6, 7, 8 point hands where 4 spades would have good play. So game is in the picture. How do you make your game try? And what this is all based on is the meaning of this bid right here. If you bid 3 spades right now, your hand is not this good. In fact, you probably have 6 spades and a minimum hand. 3 spades normally would be, I would very rarely consider doing this with only 5 spades. I would want confirmation of a 9-card fit. However, anytime I had 6, even if it was kind of a crummy 12 count, I would bid it. This is we've both found fits. This is a law of total tricks kind of situation. So if we have a 9-card spade fit, we want to compete to 3 spades. We don't just want to let them play 3 hearts. Usually. Again, we may be looking at vulnerability and other factors too. And the thing is, even if we didn't have that understanding that 3 spades is, the standard meaning of it is it's just competitive, I would still ask you the question, how do you distinguish your competitive hand from your game try hand? Because 3 spades can't be both, right? If you played 3 spades as your game try, how would you compete when you didn't want partner to think you're making a game try, right? 3 spades can only have one meaning. It can't mean both. It can't be this hand and be the 12-point hand with 6 spades. It can only be one or the other. You need a game try here. But how are you going to make a game try without forcing your side to game? Well, the answer is there's only room for one bid, right? It's got to be double. Double is your game try. So we would define our maximal double as a double that is used as a game try only on the auctions typically where we don't have room to do anything else. And the thinking is, particularly with these situations where the opponents are bidding and raising the same suit, yeah, we would have a trump trick if we defended hearts, because we've got the ace of trump and maybe we cash a spade or two or get a diamond. I mean, we have some defense. But the thinking here is that double wouldn't have much use as a penalty double, because if they have a big heart fit, like if they have a 9-card heart fit, how much defense do we really have? There's a very good chance, since partner raised spades, and if they are competing aggressively in hearts, there's a very good chance we're not cashing our ace and king. We might only get one spade. One opponent has a singleton, and there goes some of our defense, right? And so the thinking is, even if 3 hearts is going set, we shouldn't be all that excited about wanting to defend that contract. And so double doesn't have much utility as a penalty double, and is better used to say, hey partner, I want to make a game try. Yeah, you don't get to make the descriptive game try that you might on other auctions, but you can say, I have a game try. And if partner's 2 spade raise is a crappy raise, they just retreat to 3 spades. But if partner is at the upper end, you know, decent 8 or 9 points over there, they should probably jump to 4. That's how they would accept the game try. Now let's change this auction just a little bit. And not have the opponents compete in hearts, but let's have them compete in clubs. Your opening is just the same. Partner has given you the same raise. So you should still have a game try, right? So what would you bid? Now in theory, if we play maximal doubles, in theory, double on this auction would suggest some interest in penalizing. Which you don't have with this hand because you just have 2 little clubs, right? It's not like they'd be getting some nasty club break and you have king, queen, 4th or something, right? But you have room here, right? And in fact, you have room to make the game try that you probably wanted to make all along, is show a second suit where you have some stuff. Now I would take it on, even if you normally play, say, help suit game tries, on this auction I would play 3 diamonds as really pretty natural. Because of the interference, I don't think your help suit is on here. But if partner had help and diamonds, that would be a reason to go on the game, right? So it would function a lot like a help suit try. But 3 diamonds is the most descriptive game try, and you have room to make it, right? So the key to that maximal double is it's generally reserved for the auctions where we don't have another game try available. And when the opponents were bidding and raising hearts, and there were no bids between 3 hearts and 3 spades, we were forced to use double. But you're not forced to use double to make your game try here because you have a better bid available. Well, we do have an example here from what Betsy asked about before. Let's look at one of those. Is it okay to erase this hand? Because I want to look at one other, and Betsy had asked this question, and I didn't, and I had looked back at my notes and realized I did have, I put, for, just in case it was sort of right before we got started. So here was the opener who made the maximal double, and the question that Betsy had asked was, what about a maximal double by responder? And it could actually even be used as a game try by the side that overcalls, too. So how about an auction like this? All right, so notice this time we didn't get an overcall in the direct seat. Started a club pass a spade, and now 2 hearts came in from the advancer. Okay, so you raise to 2 spades, and because you also play support doubles, we know this promises 4-card support, right? Partner's only guaranteed 4 spades, but could have more. All right, and now this person who didn't have anything to say before perks up because their partner has overcalled hearts and they have heart support. So here we are, back into the same position. Would that be a game try? Nope. That specifically says, in fact, here you probably have a 9-card fit. So responder probably has 5 spades, but has less than invitational values. Partner probably has like 8 or 9 points and 5 spades. That's what 3 spades should look like. If your hand's better than that, give you a good 10 or 11, where you're like, okay, well, if partner has a maximum minimum opening, because we know it's minimum, right? Since they didn't jump raise your spades. All right, well, if partner has 14, I think we should be in 4 spades. If partner opened on 12, we should probably stop at 3, because we're probably about a queen short of making a game. So what's our game try? Double, this time by responder. Again, it just makes more sense, right? We don't have room to make a more descriptive game try. We probably, even if we have most of the high card points, and we know that we have the balance of power, because they have this big heart fit, we're probably not that interested in defending, so we don't really want the double to be penalty. We want it to be a game try. Let's look at one more variation. And, you know, always keep in mind also that people these days tend to do a lot of bidding on very little. And just because both opponents are bidding, don't let them talk you out of a game try. We want you to bid your hand and trust your partner, not the opponent. So we could have something like this, right? We have a diamond opening. You overcall a heart. This person shows 5 spades. Partner freely raises your hearts. Okay, normal stuff here, right? Partner's got like 6 to 9 and 3-card heart support. All right, opener bids 3 diamonds. Now just because they're bidding, they didn't get any support in diamonds from their partner bid a spade. But most hands with 6 or even 7 diamonds, even if they're minimum hands, are probably going to bid 3 diamonds there. If I opened an 11 count with 7 diamonds, I would bid 3 diamonds there on my own. Don't care what partner thinks. Okay, so what's double? Now, they haven't found a fit. We could certainly construct some situations where you might be interested in penalizing 3 diamonds. But if that's the hand you have, then you need to pass, because partner might balance with a double and give you a chance to defend. So keep that in mind too, right? So the more accepted standard meaning of double here is, partner, I wanted to make a game try in hearts, and I didn't just want to bid 3 hearts because that sounds like I just want to play 3 hearts. Right? We've got to make that distinction. No bidding space between 3 diamonds and 3 hearts. How do we make a game try? You know, you could have a very good overcall here, right? I mean, you know, I mean, yes, we assume it to be pretty minimal. You know, we figure, okay, let's 1 level overcall. Let's not get too excited. Partner may have overcalled on 8, 9, 10 points with a good heart suit kind of thing. But it could be a nice 15, 16, something like that. Singleton diamond, you know, where you wouldn't be losing many tricks in diamonds. You know, a 6th heart, you know, we can start constructing, you know, a lot of hands that as soon as partner raises our overcall, game now is starting to look pretty good. And it's like, well, we don't need a whole lot from partner. Okay, so again, you don't have room to make a descriptive game try. You don't have, like, say, a 3 club bid available or something like that. So you've got to go with the next best thing, which is double. And I would say, as a general rule, any sort of auctions that we have like this, if we haven't discussed them in our partnerships. But if we're at a generally low level, certainly the 1 and 2 levels, probably the 3 level as well, if we have found a fit somewhere. If you're unsure about the meaning of partners double, I would take it to be not penalty. Because remember, anytime we have found a fit, anytime we're known to have at least 8 or 9 cards in the suit where we found a fit, those cards are probably not going to be very useful on defense. So when we have big fits like that, we strive to play the hand, not defend as much as possible. So, you know, and I mention that just because, you know, I mean, you're bound, I mean, in spite of everything we've done in the last 4 weeks, I mean, we just can't, I mean, there are so many possible auctions. We can't deal with everything. We haven't talked about every kind of double. And, you know, you're bound to come up, you know, run into some situations. Denise and I ran into one recently at House of Cards, an undiscussed situation where I had a penalty double. But until this came up, never could have predicted it. And so all of a sudden, the partner had a problem because I made a double that I thought was clearly penalty, but now she's not sure if it's safe to leave it in. Turned out this one was penalty and the opponents would have been in big trouble. So I definitely am sympathetic toward if you're unsure pulling the double, because we hate to let double part scores make, that's never any fun. But the one thing that is on your sheet that we didn't talk about is the Snapdragon double, which I think is really useful. And even though we're not talking about it today, it's fairly self-explanatory, and it also brings in, for those of you who were at the lecture at the regional, the Snapdragon double is kind of nice because it brings in the tolerance principle as well, because that is part of what makes a Snapdragon double. But you know, if you get a moment, you're looking at the handout, you might want to check out what it is. It's really it's a nice gadget. I think it's pretty intuitive, really, at least the main part of it. But the Snapdragon double is going to come up for you on hands where 3 suits have been bid and you have the 4th suit. And you want to show it, but maybe your hand's not good enough to freely bid the suit. Like especially if you would have to do so at the 2 level. So just a little food for thought on that one. Certainly, if you have any questions about any of the doubles we talked about today, or the Snapdragon, since it's on your handout, feel free to ask me, shoot me an email.
Could you set out a page of just when something is for penalty as opposed to takeout?
So, you know, it's funny. I actually had that with me last week, and I don't think I have it this time. And some of you may have gotten it. I did. When was this? I did one of the Saturday morning workshops I did at House of Cards sometime within the past year. I call the class "Take Out or Eat It Here." And it's all about trying to distinguish which doubles are takeout and which doubles are penalty. So I do have a handout, and if you don't have it, I can send it to you.
Does it have examples?
So, it's more. I don't think it doesn't have hand examples, but it has criteria.
Right.
So it has, this is how these are situations when the double is takeout. These are situations when the double is penalty. And and things that we've mentioned in here too. I mean, it is still true that even though we have some doubles that are specifically penalty, even a couple of them even at lower levels, it is still true that the vast majority of penalties when the biddings at the 1 or 2 or even 3 level take place because a double got converted, not because the double was
I
intended
see.
as penalty.
Okay.
So that part is still true. And then, we have some other situations where we bid hearts, they bid spades. We bid hearts, they bid spades. And then all of a sudden, they've now bid 4 spades or 5 spades even or something like that. And we're like, well, we weren't going to slam. They have outbid us and now we double. And that's easy to recognize, right? They're sacrificing. They think we're making 4 hearts or they think we're making 5 hearts and they have outbid us and we're done. We're not going to bid a slam. So now we're going to double. So that's, oh, you have it. Yes, that is the one. Yes. Does that look familiar? I can send it to you.